There's this lady who's she's in her 70s right now. Her name's Joni Eareckson Tada. And she's a hero of our faith, of our time. When she was younger, she used to love swimming and horseback riding and just being active. And at age 17, she goes swimming, but she misjudges the shallowness of the water. So she dives in and ends up fracturing her vertebrae. And at age 17, she is left paralyzed from the shoulders down. And she talks very, very openly about her depression, her anger, her suicidal thoughts, her doubts in God. And she talks about, when she first becomes a Christian, she just kept asking God, would you heal me? God, would you heal me? Would you heal me? Would you heal me? And when the healing didn't come, she questioned her faith and hope in God. And then one night she says she was praying and she felt like Jesus was drawing really near. And she says this is her own words. She says, I discovered in that moment that the Lord Jesus Christ could indeed empathize with my situation. On the cross, for those agonizing, horrible hours waiting for death, he was immobilized, helpless, paralyzed. Jesus did. He did know what it was like not to be able to move, not to be able to scratch his nose or shift his weight or wipe his eyes. He was paralyzed on the cross. Christ knew exactly how I felt. Christ knew exactly how I felt. And this sentence, it captures it so perfectly. The compassion, the empathy of Jesus. Jesus wanting to enter in exactly where we're at. Just like Paul entering into the mess of Corinth, Jesus wants to enter into the mess of exactly where you're at. He's able to relate to you at every single level. He's not unaware of what you're going through. And it isn't just that Jesus knew, right? It's not just like when he was walking this earth, he knew. He knows right now in this moment. Because what do we know about Jesus? We know he lived, he died, he resurrected. When he resurrected, what did it say? It says the tomb was empty. The tomb was empty. That means when he ascended into heaven, he ascended in his full humanity. There is a member in the Trinity that has a human heart who is able to identify with us in this exact moment. He knows and can relate to you at every single level. He was there, he is there. He is with us in this moment. He has compassion for you and what you're going through. In sorrow and sadness and anger and depression and anxiety and rejoicing and celebrating, he is there with you. This is the compassion of Jesus. You know what? If we turn back to the Old Testament, do you know what the very first word God the Father uses to describe himself? It's in Exodus 34, verse 6. When he's proclaiming himself to Moses, what's the first word he uses? Compassionate. The Lord, the compassionate God. What's the first word you use to describe yourself? God uses compassionate. And what we actually see in compassion, this word comes from the Hebrew word rahum. Rahum is related to this word rahem, which evokes this imagery of mother's womb. And so when the Hebrew Bible calls us to imagine, to visualize compassion, it's actually to visualize a mother's tender love for her child, for her vulnerable infant.